Okay, so one of the problems you're going to come across is you're going to have a decimal and they're going to underline one of the digits. Now you're going to want to think about, which one of the digits is underlined and, what it means with relation to the decimal. Now the decimal, remember, is that little dot, some people say point or whatever, but we're going to call it a decimal, and I want you to go ahead and think about using a place value chart. Now you can make your own. They look kind of like this. They have a bunch of lines, and then you can list or you can label the different place values until you get the hang of it. So let's start out. We have 28.021. Another way to say that is 28 and 21 thousandths. First thing we want to do is plug that into our chart. So let's go ahead and mark our decimal down. You always want to put that down first, because you want to make sure the numbers lined up correctly. Then let's start plugging it in. So we have a 2 and an 8. So 28.021. And in this case, we're going to be talking about our 2, which is in the hundredths place. So part of the question's already solved. Write the place value of the underlying digit, so we know that it's the hundredths. So let's go ahead and just write that down, because when you're doing this kind of problem, they're going to want you to write it down in word format. So let's go ahead and write hundredths. Hundred. It's important you put the TH in there so it doesn't get confused for hundreds. Hundredths. And then you can just separate it by a comma. And now you need to write its value. Now, this isn't really that hard, but you want to think about looking at your place value chart carefully. Now, whenever it's a number to the right of the decimal, then you want to think about writing your decimal first and going over to the place where it really is in the decimal chart. So in this chart, we have our decimal, and then 2 spaces over is where that number is. And since the 2 is one underline, let's just think about this. 2 spaces over. So 1, 2. So we can go ahead and just write the 2 there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all you have to do now is just think about adding in zeros to all the other spaces in that number, because all it wants to know is a value of just that 2. It doesn't care about the rest of the number right now. So let's go ahead and just put spaces in that spot. I'm going to put a 0 in the 1's place. I think we need to put 1 in the 10's place, because I think we kind of get it. There's nothing there. So 0 point, and then we put 1 0 in here in the 10ths section. And then you can put 1 in the thousandths, but you don't need to. The value of that number is 0.02.